Hi guys, I'm Faizan, I'm 29 and I'm currently on medication for my depressive episode,
Bipolar disorder, extreme anxiety, imposter syndrome.
severe OCD.
I didn't know how to handle it in the beginning.
So it was basically from the start of my childhood. I had always been through some kind of low confidence state. I had been through bully, uh, and that all came to a certain point that at one point of time I couldn't take it anymore, and it triggered my depression. And at the start, I thought that okay, I mean, this is how it is now. I have to accept it. I'm not feeling well, and I started to go to as many doctors as I can because I just need to feel better. I'm an atheist right now, but I used to go to mandirs at that time, temples, even churches, so that please help me God. I need to get out of this state. But I didn't know that it was called depression or something like that. Then when I talked to one of my cousins who had gone through this process, so he told me that you should consult a psychiatrist, and that's when I did and got my medications, and things started to get a little better.
Uh, More than I didn't know how to handle it, I think my issue was I didn't know what it was, right? For me, this was just a way of normal functioning where I would completely exhaust and tire out all my resources in my head. I would just wake up mentally exhausted, won't be able to take any decisions, never believe in what I want to do, or never believe in my originality, right? I would always, I think because of the imposter syndrome, I would, and still till this day, I would chase somebody that I want to be, right? Some idealistic version of me who's a good son, who's a good brother, who's a good friend, who's a good boyfriend, but never truly what I was, right? And I think my biggest issue with that was I didn't even know that was a problem. I just thought this is the way I'm supposed to function. So now to abandon it and to go back and to think, oh, what is there if not this, right? That was a very tough position, I think, for me.
Okay, so for me, it's mainly started when I was in ninth, I think. So like everything I used to do just the time got doubled. I don't know why everything got repetitive. Like if I did the same thing once, I wouldn't get peace. Like I wouldn't be able to move on to the next thing until I made sure this was done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was, just happened, and I thought it was just normal. Like I didn't know what it was until a few years later. Then things progressed.
When you took a lot of time, this was for things you had to clean.
Yeah, mainly bathroom related, right? Washing and like for example, the same amount of washing which I used to do before was not fine.
Got
I used to
it.
still think that the same thing needs to be done again to make sure I reach the same level of cleanliness. And it evolved to other things as well, but mainly related to washing.
Got it.
Hi, I'm Sarthak Mirchandani. I am 28 years old. So I suffer from bipolar disorder, type 1. Since 2019 and 2020, that was my first depressive episode, which was very extreme. I ended up having a lot of suicidal thoughts. I made plans to, commit it. It was lucky that the COVID situation happened, and we were allowed to go home back then. So staying with my family for a bit kind of changed my mind to kill myself, and I just postponed it until everything finally started getting into place. Then when I was in UK, I had my first psychosis episode for bipolar. It was again the total opposite of depression. I don't know if many people know that. It is just the total opposite of depression. If you are extremely sad in depression, it will be just like you are elated or in just at the cloud nine at bipolar psychosis. So again, I did a lot of bad things, bad decisions. I left my job. I quit the place where I'm staying at, and yeah, I had lost everything, and I had to come back to India uh, just because of that one episode. So after that, again, when you go that high, you go the same low too. Again, I suffered from depression for the next 6 months. Then my medication started kicking in, and now I think I'm in a better place, though I still struggle with anxiety and sometimes mild depression, but yeah, I can handle it much more effectively because medications are there, I take therapy too, so yeah, that's that.
People who have never experienced it don't know how to react.
Okay, yeah, so don't know how to react, right? I mean, nobody really knew what to do. Like in my house, my mom and dad were just like, just let me be. They knew something was wrong, which I realized much later. I mean, you can always tell mothers and fathers, they always know what's wrong. They didn't really say anything about it, except like, well, I mean, so I had a bit of savings, which is why I didn't have that job for a long period of time, but I more or less survived because I had a lot of savings. So my mother always asked me, when am I going to get a job, or what am I going to do? Do I want to do my master's? Do I want to study? What do you want to do? And I said, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure it out. But they still didn't know what had happened and why I was in this way. Now my friends was a different scene. So I had a couple of close friends, like I said, and we were always a bunch of joyful, crazy. We used to have a good time always. Now the regular people who knew me from when I was younger, I used to spend a couple of nights in his place on a regular basis. And he and me would sit late in the night, and he's a very tough dude, like a very manly man, toxic masculinity, as I say, but he's a man's man, right? He would get a bit abusive at a certain point towards me because he knew me at my peak of my life, like when we were kids. He knew how good I could be and how good I could become. So he believes in negative reinforcement, I would say. So he would push me in a very negative way to be like, dude, what are you doing with your life? You can do so much. Don't be such a little bitch about this. You can do so much more. And it was nice for a while, but he didn't really know that that's not what I needed all the time. It worked for me for a little bit of time. But a lot of times it was something that also pushed me maybe lower at a certain point. And yeah, so not a lot of people knew how to react to it, and that's how it was for me.
Sure. So I always had anxiety. Like I know that, but because of my situations, I always wanted to work hard. Get things in life. So the negative reinforcement you talked about, that was something which was coming internally from my side.
Yeah.
That I can't be such a
Yeah.
I can't be so polite to myself. It's okay. The world is a tough place, and I need to tough it out. That tough it out thing worked for a very long time. Okay, I kind of handled myself. I was fortunate. Something good happened as well. But from inside, I always felt that okay, I'm not feeling good. Things have happened. I do have things, materialistic
Yeah.
things that I've always wanted to. I do have them. Now I'm still feeling negatively about things. I used to go to my mom. I was raised as a very individualistic child. My parents were very busy, just earning bread for me, putting me in some place. So very much to myself. Any thoughts that I used to have were all of my own, no influences at all. Started going to my mom, telling her, I'm not feeling good about things. One or two times she understood, okay, he's not feeling okay, he's not feeling alright. But the general reaction was, you are just, being like that. This can't be real, you are overthinking, you are too much no. The other people are not that bad, you are something, you only think negatively. Okay, I also kind of understood, ठीक है नहीं होता होगा maybe. I'm someone who's thinking a lot. This thing continued for some time, and recently there was a trigger in my life. Can say it was a heartbreak. A lot of insecurities came back in, and for like 3-4 days I couldn't sleep. It was a lot of time. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I just didn't want to take bath. Also, like when I was going to the washroom to take bath, I'm crying, and like that was just not me. And then I called my mom again, and that was the first time she said, "Go consult a therapist." That was my first acknowledgement that okay, something is not right, but things can be turned right. So yeah, that has been my experience.
Was that also the first time your mother accepted it, that okay, maybe you're going through something more than just normal?
I think wholeheartedly the first time we had a candid conversation where she was like, okay, I am open to hearing, different things which I don't know. That was the first time that go get a checkup, get better. Maybe something is not right.
Okay, so when I went for therapy, like I found out that OCD could be genetic. So it's been in my family for quite some time. I think my granddad's had it, my mother's had it, but I feel it's just, I don't blame the elders, but I think they just didn't know how to react to it. I think they didn't give it importance. At least now we're having conversations about it, but that time, even if they had it, it's just like, okay, ignore it and move on.
Did that make you feel frustrated? Did that make you feel angry towards them? Did that make you feel helpless?
Helpless, no. Angry, no. but it made me, I think, not consult them for any future decisions. So they don't understand. So basically, like, you look up to them when you're small, right? But at a point when your wavelengths don't match mentally, you stop considering them for advice, and you start thinking of advice for you start listening to yourself more than your parents. I think that's happened. And my family wise, I think my dad has, but other than that, everyone's just like, it's a thing, you just ignore it and you move on.
Did they tell you to just stop? Like,
Stop?
Did
No.
anyone tell you why can't you just stop? Like it's that simple. Did you ever?
I don't think they were that blunt,
Okay.
but yeah, just like it was something like it was something under my control, right?
Right.
Like
Like,
if
it
I
should
put
be
enough
your-
effort, or if I do something correctly, this wouldn't have happened. Or if I act in a certain way, if I take some steps in my life, it becomes better. But yeah, so I don't think that they understand. But yeah, that's not the case.
The entire idea, I believe, of this question, we seek validation from specific people. We don't seek it from,
Legit.
some
Facts.
Yeah.
like parents and families or elders. I think when we are suffering or we're going through anything, their support means the most, and I think that's where we all feel handicapped for a lot of time, and it takes time for their acceptance, and then you have to spend a lot of time again. Tell them what you
Yeah.
went through, remind them where they were wrong, and that's the tough part, that telling.
Yeah. So the same thing which you said, your mom. So like I said, after that I got into addiction. I got into a lot of alcoholism. I used to get drunk all the time just to numb the pain I used to feel. So one really bad night, so I'd gone out and I've come back home around 4:35 in the morning, and so I'm taking my pants. My parents are passed out. I'm taking my pants off and I'm wasted. So I drop the chair. Mom wakes up and she's like, "Sandeep, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, what has happened?" But that was the day that changed everything, because then I just broke down crying at 4:30 in the morning, and I sat with my mom on the bed and I spoke to her about everything that happened in life. And this was maybe about 10, 12, 13 months after whatever. And she sat with me, she sat with me, she just helped me, she listened to everything I had to say. And that just changed everything. And she's like, I knew something was wrong, I just didn't know how to ask you. With me and dad knew something was up. And I was like, I should have just said something about it, right? And I did a bunch of shit at home, and so she's like, yeah, when you did this, we knew something was wrong. When you did this, we knew something was wrong. And I was like, yeah, but that changed everything, because you said validation, right? Because then, as dudes, we generally are mama's boys, right? And I'm a huge mama's boy. So that was what came, and that was the point where I think I felt comfort again in my life. And I'm like, this person's again there for me, and I have somebody who I can count on in my life again. So yeah, that validation thing is very important. I think
I have a very similar situation to discuss, actually. So this was back in October. I broke my
Collarbone.
this bone got dislocated, and I went to an accident. Right after that, I just called my mom on a video call, and I just started crying for zero reason. Sometime after that, I realized that it was a trigger point. I was just crying, telling her, I'm so alone. I don't know, what is happening with me. I just don't feel good about anything at all. Like, there is nothing wrong existentially in life, but I just don't feel good. See, a very similar incident where I was like all out. This is me. You have please accept me, and let's work on it then.
And also, yeah, people they think that if everything around you is fine, if you're physically normal, if you got no money, no pressure, everything is going well in your life, then they think nothing can go wrong. But it's not the case.
It's not money plus good health plus food equals happiness.
Exactly, it's not like school, good grades, everything leads to
Correct.
happiness.
Roti kapda makan, what is sold to us in the beginning of
Exactly.
life, even if you get that, is there is no guarantee
No.
that people will actually understand what internally goes through.
Yeah.
100%.
Solid. Hi, my name is Sandeep. I'm from Bangalore and I'm 29 years old. So I wanted to talk about a depressive episode that I went through 2018 and 2019. Due to it, I lost my job in 2018. I quit my job because I just couldn't take it anymore. I didn't work for about maybe almost a whole year throughout the whole time. My regular day used to be me just sleeping for about 12 to 14 hours a day. I'd wake up around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd do nothing. I'd just lay in bed the whole day. I'd order food in. And late nights, I used to like to fill the hole in my heart with a lot of sweet. So I used to order a lot of cookies, a lot of cake. That also led to me gaining a lot of weight. And I never used to go out. I never used to talk to my friends too much. If I ever did go out, I used to just go out to get drunk with them because alcohol used to help me numb all of the pain that I used to feel, which also led into a lot of addiction part of it. So every time I used to go out, I used to just go out to just drink with my friends and chill like that. And not anybody knew I was going through it except a couple of close friends who I used to sit with alone and we used to have nights together. But I'm thankful to say that due to a couple of reasons, I'm not in it anymore and now I'm in a much better place in my life.
Do you think it's easier for girls to express themselves than guys?
Yeah, dude, I think more than it's easier for girls to express, I think it's more difficult for us to express, right? And I feel like people in general are not receptive to hear about mental health problems that men are going through, right? It's just an innate feeling that or like an expectation, right? That you have to just man up and go through it, right? That's what I thought. I didn't think I had any issues, right? Because I was like, okay, what is issues? I have to go through this. My parents have worked so hard to give me this life. Now what can I feel about, what can I mope about now, right? I can't be sad about anything. And that's funny the way it comes out, because I am also equally more comfortable expressing it with a woman rather than a man, right? My therapist is a woman. I'm not comfortable, even amongst my guy friends, there's very few people where I can openly talk about this, right? That's interesting because I don't think they're uneducated about mental health, but I just feel like, I don't know, man, I just hesitate,
Exactly. Even I think, between men and women, I don't think particular gender is a better communicator. However, what I think is that women in general, like let's say if a girl is going through something, she'll probably reach out to 4 or 5 of her friends that same day only to first, be clear what she's facing. She'll talk to them, she'll get some opinion. Naturally, 60-70% what she's going through, she lets it out and gets something in back. For men, I think the conditioning is such that it's not as if you won't empathize with me if I tell you something.
Yeah.
It's just that it's the conditioning which holds me back. Okay, how will this new person feel about me going through XYZ?
Yeah.
Which I've seen women in general coping up. Just the function of the number of people that they reach out to for expressing themselves. That's something that.
Yeah. With men, it's more suppressive, right?
Exactly.
Don't you think? Like, instead of addressing the issue, it's more about suppressing it. So, like, if you were to generally go to your friend group or say, hey, dude, I might be going through this, it's more, let's get drunk. Let's forget about it. Let's go out, right? Instead of dealing with it, right? I feel the culture is a little more suppress it and you'll be okay.
And whenever you're thinking about, okay, I think I'm going through this shit, I should reach out to my friend. You'll think 3-4 times, like, should I tell or should I not? And in situations, it has happened with me personally, that when I'm contemplating, should I be open about this to someone? It's my inner voice who's saying to me that, oh man up, come on dude, this is not something, you should feel petty about yourself. Just go to work, make money, live happily, what's your problem? For men specifically, it's a constant juggle. Should I work upon my own self, my soul, or who internally I am, or should I continue working on the image that I am projecting continuously in front of the world to maybe a status statement, or maybe I've arrived, or maybe whatever, I don't know, maybe some insecurities which are making me do it, or making more, like a lot of men who are facing all of this.
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
Yeah, no, I agree, dude. I think I think there is a very blurred line for at least most of us between what we truly want and what we think the world wants of us, right? And we get so lost in chasing that I think that's when we start realizing it's a problem, because you now see yourself as somebody who can be accepted by people outside, or is, at least in your opinion, somebody who's acceptable, somebody who's smart, somebody who's making some decent amount of money, etc., right? But even with that, you're not happy, right? You're just maybe not happy is different. Maybe you're not at peace, right? Yeah, that's what I feel about that.
Another question about are the men or women who are doing better in terms of communicating? I think still women are doing better. Like just like you, even I reach out. I reach out to mostly my female friends. Whenever I'm suffering, I don't know. I think it's a natural comfort to them. Maybe it's a more empathetic side of them that comes out first. Maybe with a guy friend, I have to explain them a lot. Maybe tell them the trauma I went through,
Yeah.
and then maybe they might think, okay, yeah.
Are you also afraid of how they'll react
Yes,
as
I
opposed to a
am.
woman? Yeah.
Yes, I am. Maybe I think the ego part comes in between. Okay.
You'll be seen as weak.
Yeah.
Right? I definitely feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
Uh,
Please.
No, so I'm here on the other side of it, right? So I prefer to confide in my male friends versus my female friends.
Interesting.
Now, the most traumatic things of my life, I have a lot of good girlfriends, I have a lot of good boyfriends who I've inculcated in my life throughout my childhood, right? Till now. I trust my boys more. I don't know if it's about trust. I think I prefer to confide in my boys over preferring to confide in my women, my girlfriends, basically. And it's not because girls are very empathetic. Yes, they love to listen. They love to. They'll feel you. They'll understand it. It'll be there for you. But I don't know. Maybe for me it boils down to trust. Like I would trust my boys more than I trust my girls, because I feel like they, as men in general, like you said, we suppress a lot of things, right? All of us do. Even they are doing it. So when I do open up to them, they also open up about that. Because and you said ego is a big play. So this is a part in our lives where I feel like we build a stronger friendship because we push our ego down. Because you know who I really am as a person, you know who I really am as a person. And this part of me that I'm feeling, this part of me that I'm expressing to you, doesn't actually diminish my value. I'm going through this and I know you have that, you've gone through something also. So when I've done that with my friends and they've spoken about their times also where they've had hard times, right? And it's a great night, bro, and I think it's brought us much closer together. Like from when I was younger, it was always my boyfriends who I trusted more to confide in than my girlfriends. And yeah, I don't know, that's how it was for me. So I just thought I'd join the conversation on the other side of it.
Amazing, man. Like I think the core issue with me personally is like self-worth. Portray to all my friends. Now breaking that, going to them and thinking,
maybe it's the same
that's
for
a
me.
big that's another challenge altogether for a person like me.
So maybe it's the same for me, but I want to put my self-worth more to the girlfriends than to the boyfriends. Maybe, I don't know. I never thought about it like that till just now. But I don't know, for me it's just, we all suppress, bro. We don't like to show our feelings. We don't go crying around to everybody. But there are very few people I keep in my life who I know that I can fully trust 100%. Like that.
I'm Vishal. I'm 29 years old, through and through Bangalore boy. I work at a startup. I'm a product manager. I'm riddled with crippling anxiety and imposter syndrome. Crippling anxiety, I think it's just a thought loop where my brain just doesn't stop processing the external stimulus that I get all the time, to the point where I completely exhaust myself before even getting through any kind of situation, and I overthink and project all types of negative scenarios about it. That's one part of it. Imposter syndrome is a sort of textbook, don't believe anything you do is real or anything is based off of your merit. So I am constantly doubting myself, I'm constantly doubting my abilities, constantly doubting the things that I do, not believing anything I do or anything that I achieve is based off of my own effort or my own merit, and it's more just of a fluke. And that drives me to a point where I just don't believe I'm capable of anything, or I don't believe anything that I achieve or I do is truly a result of my own hard work. It's more just maybe luck or fluke or just well wishes for me from others. That troubles me in the sense I'm not really able to take the decisions that I want to with confidence in my life, even though for the most part I have taken great decisions and that's what has led me this far. The belief system in myself just doesn't exist.
Have you ever had self-harm tendencies?